Hello and welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be making some simple paper crafts because I'm bored. So I've been seeing these 3D paper projects on Instagram where you take a character and draw out all the elements on separate papers and glue them together with spacers so it's 3D, which looks very fun. So I thought I'd try it with the bugs from Hollow Knight because I love the bugs. And the very first step was finding out which bugs I wanted to make and making sure they were all scaled to the right size so they'd be proportionately accurate to each other. So let's just hop into the first bug, and I thought the most fitting bug to start with would be the knight, since everything is scaled to the knight so it would be easier to do all the rest of them, and also since it's the main character. I start off with some thick watercolor paper to make sure it's very sturdy, and I get going on the drawing. I sketched out the whole knight to get the proportions right, and then I cut out its head. And honestly, this was the trickiest part because if the head looks wrong, then it doesn't look accurate to the game, and I fail, so I had to be very careful. And I use a Sharpie for the outline, and I'm really happy that this game has such strong line work and very simple shapes because it's easy to recreate and make it look accurate. So I was really happy that the line work could be nice. Then I just used the head I finished to outline the next part, the cloak. Nothing crazy going on here, just drawing out the shape, cutting it out, and then I go in with my Sharpie again to do the same line work. And I just continue with the layering. Altogether, there end up being 4 layers: the head, the cloak, the body, and the nail. And now onto the fun part, adding all the colors. I'm using watercolors and I mix up a dark grayish blue for the cloak, and that's all the color on the knight, so now it's time to just glue everything together. So my tactic was to cut all the elements and glue them together with something in between to add a 3D element, but I really couldn't find anything that was thin enough for that, so I ended up just gluing the layers directly on top of each other, which kind of added a slight 3-dimensional look, so it still looked fine. It just wasn't as crazy as I might have liked it to be. And the last touch is to color in the back and the sides with black Sharpie to give it the finished sleek look, and the knight is done. Now moving on to the next bug, I was debating on whether I should do a group of bugs, like all of Dirtmouth or all the City of Tears bugs, or just do some random bugs, and I wasn't sure, so I just went with Elderbug because he's cute and he's a beloved character, you know? And he always reminds me of a very sweet old man who's just peaceful and very kind, so I just thought he would be very cute. And for Elderbug, I split him up into 5 layers: his face, his shell, his back I guess, his cloak, his body, and then the back of his cloak that's behind his feet. And I just cut out all the pieces and do the line art. Very simple, nothing crazy going on here at all. Then for the colors, I used the same dark blue for the shell and then a dark gray for the cloak. Then I glue the layers and clean up the edges just like before, and here's Elderbug done! Now, I wanted a different bug for variety, so I picked a little bee, and there are quite a few different kinds of bees in Hollow Knight, but I chose a really tiny one because it's smaller than the knight, so then I'd have a bug that's bigger, and then a bug that's smaller, and then the knight, and yeah. And for this little bee, I only had to make him 3 layers, the head, the body, and the wings, since he's a very simple design. Then I cut and color and paint. I do like a brownish yellow kinda for the head, and then just a really light yellow for the body. And then it's time to assemble. Then after gluing them together and coloring the back with Sharpie, the 3 are done. And I'm really happy with them. And originally I was going to be done at 3, but then I got really excited and I decided to do more bugs. However, I ran into an issue because I realized that if I wanted to make some of the bugs, then they would be huge, like the Radiance, the White Lady, and I wouldn't have a big enough sheet of paper if I made the knight like the size of my hand. So I decided to redo all of those to fit the scale. So I used the White Lady since I think it's the biggest bug, and I just made the White Lady fill out a whole page, and then everything else will be scaled to the White Lady instead. So I'll end up redoing all the bugs and I get started on the White Lady. So the White Lady is a strange being. So she and the Pale King created all the vessels and the knight, but she's a plant and the Pale King is a worm and the vessels aren't even bugs. So that whole thing is just kind of confusing to me. But I do like the White Lady. The music when you meet her is very relaxing and I think her design is really cool. I like how all her like tentacles kind of glow. I think it's really pretty. I created 4 layers for her and then I decided I wanted to thicken it a little bit more because it felt a little weak. So I just added an extra layer in the back. And here are all the resized bugs that I made, and I'm much happier with the whole thing. I think it'll be easier to do all the bugs this way because they'll be smaller overall and whatever. Yeah, it's easier. And I decided I wanted to do one more bug, and I chose to do the Sear because she has a different look and color palette, and I thought that would be kind of fun. And I use my little knight to map out the size, and I get started on her head. I also cut out that single eye separately and glued it onto the face. And I kind of really love the Sear. I think she's kind of a funny character. She's like a crazy lady, and her voice um, is really funny and just like, ah. And honestly, I kind of want to live in her little room. It seems very cozy, so yeah. But anyways, I glue all the layers together before coloring because I realized it was kind of easier that way, so I'm just going to do it that way from now on. I mixed up all the right colors and I got to painting. The eyeball was a little bit tricky because I'm too scared to start with dark colors, so I try to layer, but it's hard to get dark enough because I'm scared, and it didn't look like an eye to me until I added the white highlights, and then that really made it come together, so that was nice. But yeah, here are all the bugs. I don't really know what I'm gonna do with them. I guess I'll just collect them, but this was super fun and I really love how they turned out. They look very cute, and yeah. So yeah, let me know what your favorite one was and what bugs should I do next. Let me know down below. And thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!